There are moments in rugby when a young player appears and even hardened coaches pause mid-sentence. Not hype, not social media noise, just that instinctive feeling that something unusual has arrived. That was the reaction when Clive Woodward, the man who delivered England's only World Cup title in 2003, publicly called for a 19-year-old to start against the world champions. And here's the part many people missed at first. Woodward wasn't talking about a future prospect. He was talking about right now. The same coach who trusted Jonny Wilkinson as a teenager looked at one player and reportedly said he felt that same shock of recognition again. So what did he see that everyone else is only starting to notice? The player is Noah Caluori, a Saracens winger whose rise has been so fast that even teammates admit they didn't expect it. In just months with Saracens FC, he piled up 20 tries in 13 appearances. Sounds impressive, but wait until you hear what happened next. His first Premiership start didn't end with a solid debut or a learning experience. He scored 5 tries. Defenders weren't just beaten, they looked confused, as if they were facing something they hadn't prepared for. And then, instead of slowing down like most young players after opponents studied his game, he repeated the destruction later in the season. That consistency is what turned whispers inside English rugby into serious conversations. But here's something many fans don't know. Coaches weren't talking about his finishing first. They were talking about the air. During preseason training, senior players noticed that every high ball kicked toward him ended the same way, Caluori winning it. Former Wales captain Sam Warburton watched one performance and admitted he had never seen a teenager dominate aerial contests like that. Now think about what that means when facing the South Africa national rugby union team. The Springboks don't just kick to clear territory. Under Rossi Erasmus, they kick to attack. Every high ball is a trap, designed to win collisions, pressure opponents, and suffocate teams over 80 minutes. So imagine a winger who turns their greatest weapon into uncertainty. That's where the real story begins. And just when you think this is another hype cycle, something else happens. Woodward goes further. He doesn't suggest easing the teenager into test rugby. He says start him at Ellis Park. Yes, that Ellis Park. The altitude, the noise, the intimidation. The place where visiting teams historically struggle to survive, let alone debut teenagers. Why would an experienced World Cup winning coach make such a bold call? His reasoning connects to a moment many people forgot. Last year, the Australia national rugby union team stunned South Africa at Ellis Park Stadium, proving the Springboks can be disrupted by fearless attacking rugby. Woodward believes England now have the back three talent to attempt the same blueprint. But here's the twist you might not know. Caluori didn't grow up as a lifelong rugby prodigy. He played football, supported Liverpool, and only switched positions late in school. His athletic confidence came from skiing holidays, cliff jumping, and environments where hesitation meant failure. That background explains something statistics cannot. Why a teenager shows zero fear when leaping into contact against seasoned internationals. Confidence like that isn't coached, it's lived. Now pause for a second and ask yourself, what usually happens when England discover a generational talent? Often the system protects them. Minutes are managed, pressure is delayed, debuts arrive quietly. But history suggests something different. When Woodward selected Wilkinson early, many critics called it reckless. Years later, it became legendary. So the real question emerging inside English rugby isn't about talent anymore. It's about courage from the coaching staff. Because here's what happens next if Borthwick says yes. South Africa immediately adjusts their kicking strategy. Defensive spacing changes, England's attacking confidence rises. A young player either explodes onto the world stage or learns brutally fast against the best team on earth. And if Borthwick says no, England might win safely against weaker opposition, but they delay discovering whether they possess a true game changer before the next World Cup cycle. Another detail fans overlook, the Springbok analysts already know him. South Africa monitor Premiership Rugby relentlessly. A winger scoring at this rate, publicly endorsed by England's most successful coach, is already in tactical meetings, which means the surprise factor is disappearing by the week. England's advantage exists if they act decisively. And this is where the story becomes bigger than one player. England suddenly have options: pace, size, aerial dominance, creativity. Alongside players like Emmanuel Faye-Wabasi, the back three could evolve from conservative to explosive almost overnight. But evolution in international rugby never happens automatically. Someone has to make the bold selection first. So imagine the scene: Ellis Park, altitude biting lungs, Springbok fans roaring, kick sails high into the night sky. A 19-year-old rises above experienced defenders and claims the ball cleanly. Momentum shifts, confidence spreads. Suddenly, England aren't reacting, they're dictating. That's the vision Woodward is hinting at. But here's the unanswered question keeping fans talking. Is Steve Borthwick ready to be that kind of coach? The decision he makes won't just determine one test match. It will reveal whether England are building cautiously or preparing to challenge the world champions with a new generation. And maybe the biggest question of all, are we witnessing the beginning of England's next superstar, or the moment where opportunity arrives before the system is brave enough to embrace it? So tell me, if you were the coach, what happens next? Do you unleash the teenager at Ellis Park and discover greatness under pressure? Or wait, play safe and risk never knowing how special he really is?